In this video, I'm going to be talking about Gara and why people love her. Now, if you're a new player or somebody that just doesn't play Gara, you might have seen people nuking with Gara, and what they do would they'd catch their four, and then you'd notice that they died. Pretty much everyone would die. And if you're new, you probably don't even know how they died because you'd play Gara yourself, and then you'd notice nobody dies. You'd cast your one to do the damage, but the damage just isn't there. That's because she has I wouldn't say unique playstyle, but there's movement to it, and it allows her to do just insane amounts of damage. So in this video, that's what I'm going to be talking about, the insane amount of damage she can do. Now, that is pretty much the main reason people love her, is her just insane ability to nuke. And so the first thing I'll start off with is the requirements to be able to do such a thing. All right, first off, you have to have a pretty basic build. You just need a little bit of strength, a lot of range to be able to do that. And then you need the Shattered Storm Augment mod. When Gara breaks her vast vitrified ring with Shattered Lash, enemies struck by the glass suffer Splinter Storm at 100% strength. Now, this is very important because it's essentially just more damage. Pretty simple. Now, you can put on Arcane Fear if you need. You don't necessarily need it, but on critical hit, 60% chance to do 180% melee damage. This counts for your Shattered Lash, so it's very amazing to put on. And now, with that out of the way, the next part is her Shattered Lash Prime. Her Exalted Weapon, this is something you can upgrade. I don't even have it max, I have no form in it. You can put it on a very basic build, just throw in some mods that'll get the damage up there, and it's mostly revolving around melee influence, the arcane to do all of its damage for it. Everything else is kind of basic, bare bones. Of course, feel free to make your own build for it if you want. My build is, like I said, very basic. And now her playstyle to nuke is very simple. All you need to do is cast your 4, cast it immediately again so it stops outside of the enemies, and then from there you can hold down your Shattered Lash and then just deal an insane amount of damage by casting it just like that. Now, my build, very basic like I said. You could be doing a lot more damage if you had a better Shattered Lash build. But the reason I have electricity damage on is because I put Arcane Stretch on, and Arcane Stretch counts for her Shattered Lash as well, which means every time I use it, I will be gaining back some energy, which helps with her energy problem. Speaking of her energy problem, Spectral Siphon is also on to solve the energy problem. This means that whenever you use Spectral Rage, enemies that die within Spectral Rage have a 50% chance to drop an energy orb. This helps you and your team. Now, honestly, I don't recommend using Spectral Siphon unless you want energy orbs specifically. These energy orbs help you and your team, but if you just want to keep your own energy up, throwing on Nourish is more than enough. But if you don't have a helmet or you want to help out your team more, then Spectral Siphon is the way to go. And now, like I said, her insane damage is the main reason people love her. You can do an insane amount of damage with her just with that alone. And what is not to love about insane damage? But there are a lot of other reasons people love her. She has nice survivability as well. It's nowhere near the level of, let's say, Revenant or Sevagoth or these other frames, but she has a nice amount of survivability, not just for her, but for her team as well. Splinter Storm, her second ability. Gara's armor splinters into a maelstrom of shattered glass. Allies who contact the cloud are fortified against damage. Now, this starts at a base of 70%, but if you increase your strength, you can get it up to 90% at max. This is amazing because this counts for both you and your allies, and not just your allies, but defense targets as well. So if you want to go on a defense mission, you can bring Gara just to increase the amount of defense of the defense target. It's absolutely amazing. 90% is nothing grand, but it's also nothing to scoff at. And if you pair the 90% with, let's say, her 3, which would put these enemies in a trance, so they'd be shooting at these glass targets instead, essentially a form of crowd control. It would take enemy aggro off you, meaning you'd survive a lot easier. Now, her 4 also deflects enemy bullets. Not a lot, the shield does break easily, but it's another form of survivability. And then, of course, I guess you could also count as offense being the best defense. If you're able to kill enemies with extreme ease and nuke them, she's also just never going to die. You could throw on Brief Respite or an Augur mod and Shield Gate if you want, but not a lot of people actually like shield gating, so it's not that often used by most players. But shield gating is also a form of survivability. But within her abilities alone, she has Splinter Storm for damage reduction, Spectral Rage for some crowd control, and then Mass Vitrify for a form of area defense. It's absolutely amazing. And now, the next thing I'm going to focus on is her versatility. This is a very small reason, but it's a very important one. She's excellent at defending objectives, as I just mentioned, and she is also an amazing damage dealer. You could argue that she's kind of an energy support with her 3, with her augment, but not a lot of people use her for that. Like I said, most people would probably just prefer to run Nourish over it, along with some Equilibrium, maybe, to solve all of her energy problems because she is an energy leech. But she is extremely versatile and just as good, or maybe even a little bit better than Frost when it comes to defending objectives. Frost is like the gold standard for defending objectives with his Frost bubble, and she's at least as good as him with her ability to increase its damage reduction. Now, people love that because what's not to love about defending objectives with ease and then nuking the map with ease? And honestly, with that being said, that's pretty much just about it. Now, tell me, what do you think about Gara? Do you love her? Do you hate her? Do you have a problem with something about her? I'd love to hear all about it. And until next time.